Okay, so this is still Chapter 10, the sign test, and this is another example of the dependent samples. So you might want to look at the problem, maybe give it a try before you watch the whole video just to check to see if you remember the steps from the other example, if you can follow the steps from the other example. So many football teams put their team through speed training during the offseason to help them stay in shape and improve their abilities. Below are 100-yard dash times. Did the training improve their players' speed? Times in seconds, 99% confident. So here we have another before-after. So each player had their time rated before and after, and we want to see did their time improve. Now, if the time improved, that means their after should be less than. Okay, their after should be lower than the before, since we're looking at a time race here to see how fast they can do the 100-yard dash. So my null and alternate, always the first step is null and alternate. I have the before equal to the after for the null, and then I have mu before is greater than mu after. We have if the training did work, the after should be less than the before. Now we have to do our subtraction. Okay, finding the test statistic, we're going to subtract each one, and again, all we care about is positive and negatives. So 10.2 minus 10.3, that would be a negative. 10.8 and 10.5, that would be a positive. Just doing the subtraction, going down each pair. Just I'll go through and check real quick my work. Negative, positive, 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 negative, positive, negative, positive, negative, and positive. So counting those up, we care about how many pluses, how many minuses. I had positive signs are 7, negative signs are 4. The lesser of the two is going to be our test statistic, so our test stat equals 4. So there's our test stat. Now we need to find our critical value. We know we have degrees, our confidence level is 99%, so that means our alpha level is 0.01. Degrees of freedom is the number of pairs that we have, so degrees of freedom is going to be 11. We have greater than, so it is a one-tail test. So there's all the information you need. Alpha level, one tail, degrees of freedom is 11. So now if you go to your chart, okay, we're looking at one tail. Alpha level is 0.01, so we're looking at this column here, the second column, 0.01, one tail. Degrees of freedom was 11. So there is our 1 there, so it goes across to 11. Our critical value is 1. Okay, so again, alpha level is 0.01 because we were 99% confident. We're looking at the one-tail test because we were greater than in the alternative. Degrees of freedom was 11, and 1 is our critical value. So test statistic of 4, critical value of 1. Okay, so if we're writing this out, since our test stat is greater than our critical value, we would fail to reject the null, which means fail to reject means we're saying that the averages are equal, before and after are equal to each other. The speed training does not make you faster, before and after are equal. Okay, so there, again, this is what your screen should look like. This is what your final answer should look like. Your null and alternate is step 1. Find your test stat, find your critical value, and write out your conclusion. Okay, so this is just another example of how to run the basic sign test for dependent. So give the practice problems a try and see how you do.